So I want you to put yourself in the situation for a moment. Imagine one day after living for about 2 or 3 years, you suddenly gain consciousness and you're running around your house and you're just a wild, crazy kid. And you run inside of the restroom and you look at yourself in the mirror and you see looking back at you this little curly brown haired kid with a big head and a goofy smile looking right back at you. Well, that kid is me. My name is Isaac Willis. I'm 16 years old and I go to Collinsville High School. And today I'm going to be explaining to you just three things that represent my past, present, and future that just go through my life and taught me how I can use good times and adversities to reach what I want in life. So the first example I'm going to be using for my past is this picture of me and my dad in Little League football. The picture just kind of represents how good of a time that was in my life. We won a state championship that year, and we ended up going to a national championship, and we got to go all the way out to Arkansas. But in that time, no matter how good of a time it was, I learned so much about myself, and it was being a kid that was that small and playing on the offensive line. You see so many kids that are so much bigger than you, and it started to teach you that no matter how big your problems are, as long as you work as hard as you can and you put your mind to it, you can always beat any of those adversities in life. And keeping my mind on that idea, it helped me enjoy the sport more than I ever did, and it also helped me win the state championship and go all the way up to the national championship. Even though we lost, it's one of the greatest times of my life by far. For an example, my present, I have the email that we got from Touchstone Imaging of the MRI of my back. So in the MRI of my back, the T10 through T12 vertebrae of my spine were all fractured. And those are kind of in that middle section of your back. So it wasn't too high and it wasn't too low, so it wasn't much of a worry, but it was still something that you thought of for a while because it brought up so many questions of would I have to forget the things that I really cared about doing, which was playing sports and things like that. And it really scared me, but I learned through this that I have family that I can always go and talk to, and that if I just kind of prepare myself for these sort of things, and I know that there are people around me that care and are always going to be there for me to talk to, then I can get through any kind of adversity in life. And after about a month of physical therapy, I ended up getting the go-ahead that I could be able to play sports, and it was the greatest news I've ever had. But I think that it would have been so hard to get through that situation without the people that I know without having the people that I know care about me, like my mom and my dad. Lastly, now representing my future is the balance beam, which kind of represents what I want as my career as a lawyer. And having those things happen in my past and present have kind of shown me that whatever I want to put my mind to, I can always go out and get it. And I know that lawyers have very hard careers, and it's one of the hardest careers to get in the world. And that's how I know that with how I was when I was a little kid, that no matter how big my problems are, as long as I put my mind to it, then I can be completely fine. And I will always have people that care about me, and they're there to help me. And no matter what I'm going through, everything will be okay. So just going back through all that, as a kid, just kind of learning that no matter what I put my mind to, I could always beat any adversity. And whenever my present day came through, that I always had people that cared about me, and both of those things tying together are going to help me push towards what I want as a future as a lawyer.